The Indiana Fever, along with the WNBA, are confronting a pivotal moment of change, with Caitlin Clark at the heart of conversations surrounding race, privilege, and the evolving narrative within the sport. This story emphasizes how Clark, a standout talent, has found herself entangled in a racial controversy she never anticipated. Her arrival in the WNBA has ignited discussions, not just about her abilities, but about how racism is perceived within the league. The situation intensified when Sue Bird, a legendary figure in the WNBA, spoke out in support of Clark. Bird's comments, made on a no-holds-barred podcast with Megan Rapinoe, addressed the racist undertones in the scrutiny Clark has faced. Things took a notable turn when the Indiana Fever announced significant changes within the team, aligning with the broader conversation on race and privilege. According to Bird, the spotlight on Clark has led to unfair criticisms. She pointed out how black athletes in the WNBA often face harsher scrutiny than their white counterparts. Clark's rising prominence, especially after her meteoric ascent in basketball, became the setting for accusations of favoritism and racial bias. Players like Angel Reese and Alyssa Thomas publicly criticized what they perceived as Clark benefiting from white privilege. Bird took issue with the way media, particularly ESPN, perpetuated this narrative. She stressed that the issue wasn't so much about race itself, but rather how the media had spun the situation. For Bird, the root of the problem was that Clark had become an easy scapegoat for deeper frustrations about the long-standing racial tensions within the WNBA. Media portrayals, Bird argued, distorted the truth and took attention away from what mattered: Clark's undeniable talent. While Bird acknowledged the presence of racism in the WNBA, she emphasized that this situation wasn't about racial bias, but rather about certain players projecting their grievances onto Clark. By framing the situation as one of race, players like Reese and Thomas, in Bird's opinion, were contributing to a divisive narrative that distracted from the sport itself. Clark's on-court performance is undeniably remarkable, but the racial controversy surrounding her has overshadowed her talent. Bird was firm in her stance that Clark's accomplishments were being unfairly diminished by claims of special treatment based on race. She expressed her frustration, pointing out that what should have been a conversation focused on basketball had instead turned into a racially charged dispute. As the Indiana Fever look toward 2025, major changes are on the horizon, with Amber Cox as the new GM and returning president Kelly Kroskop. The team is expected to undergo sweeping transformations. Players will come and go, and rumors suggest that even head coach Christy Sides may be on the chopping block. Clark, now a pivotal figure for the Fever, will likely see some familiar faces depart, but the objective remains the same: to mold the Fever into a top 4 contender in the upcoming season. With these substantial changes, the Fever are preparing for a new era. Fans are eager to see how Clark and her teammates will navigate the challenges ahead. This transformation is set to reshape not only the Fever but also the conversation around race, privilege and talent in the WNBA.